Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this live coverage of tonight's game between the Gillen Dutchmen and the Colony Red Raiders. The Gillen Dutchmen have started off the year with a rough start, going 1-4 on the season, and they hope to bounce back after a tough win, a tough loss to the Shenandoah Plainsmen last time on Tuesday when they lost 49-36. They do have a tough challenge, though, as they go up against the Colony Raiders, who are 3-2 on the season, and with their starter Isaiah Mole averaging over 20 points a game. And as we have now, we have our starting lineup for the Gillen Dutchmen. As we saw, we have Brandon Hoffman just coming out. We had Matt Bender and Daniel Albright. And so Grant Mengel is the tallest player on the Gillen roster, number 23. He's been the leading scorer with 82 points on the season and has done a very good job offensively and defensively. To finish out the lineup, we have number 24, Ben Ortel, who has had very minimal time, but has had a lot of shots in the season and has been really good offensively for the team. And so we'll be back after the performance by the Gillen High School Chamber Choir for our national anthem.
Good sportsmanship is valued here at Gillen, and we are pleased you chose to support your team this evening. Please do so by refraining from negative cheers or comments directed at athletes, coaches, fans, and officials. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt. Tonight's officials are Marty McGraw and Vinny Arnemann. Will you please remove your hats and rise for playing the national anthem performed by GHS's own chamber choir.
And we are back and just about to start the first quarter. And so as we mentioned before in previous games, one of the big difficulties for the Gillen Dutchman team is their height. The tallest man is Grant Mengel, standing at 6'3". So coming up against many players on the Colony Raiders who are 6'5", and their tallest Isaiah Mole, who's standing 6'7", it is going to be very tough to go up against a team that is so driven on height. It's going to be a tough match, but Grant Mengel will be going up against Isaiah Mole for the tip-off, and we will begin the game. And so as we saw in the standings, surprisingly, Gillen just behind the Colony Raiders. They're actually 1-3 on the season to 3-2. And we are underway in this first quarter of tonight's game. Currently knocked out of bounds, and Albright will take it out for the Dutchman. Hoffman brings it up for the Dutchman. Guarded by number 12, Will Ibar. Hands it off to Albright. Albright on the wing. Gets it to Mengel. Mengel up top. Passes to Hoffman. Hoffman to Mengel. Mengel drives in for the jump shot and falls short and picked up by Isaiah Mole, and he hurries it up the court. Mole on the wing. Drives in on number 2, Dan Albright. Gets it to Ibar. Back to Mole. He puts it up and one. And Isaiah Mole starts off the game on a nice note for the Colony Raiders. So the foul was on number 1, Matt Bender, his first on the game. And so we mentioned last time how both Matt Bender and Dan Albright got into foul trouble in the game. Matt Bender specifically, who had about 3 fouls prior to the half, so they have to watch out for fouls because at a team like this, you're going to need every possible player that you can have, and you want to make the most out of every possession. Bender on the wing. Tries to drive in, gets stuck at the top of the key, gets to Hoffman. Hoffman drives in. Steps back for the jumper and can't quite get it. Again picked up by Mole, and he brings it back up the court. Mole to number 1, Josh Ibar, can't get it. And multiple rebounds, and he just keeps getting his own rebound, but misses about 4 layups. A very crazy sequence, but they get it back, and it is now stolen. And Isaiah Mole with the slam. You knew that was going to be coming, a wide open area for him, and you definitely know he's going to do that. And as we mentioned before, tallest player on the team at 6'7", and surprisingly handles the ball like a guard. Already has all 5 points for the Colonie Red Raiders. And Grant Mengel has the ball knocked out of bounds by number 12, Will Ibar. Mengel on the side, trying to find the open man, gets it to Bender. Bender guarded by number 10, Aaron Sadden. Bender driving on Sadden, turns around, gets blocked, and is fouled on the play. That'll be Sadden's first of the game. And one of the really good things about Matt Bender is his physicality offensively and defensively and his free throw percentage. Prior to this game, he's been 11 for 15 from the line, 11 of his 29 points on the season. And free throw shooting, as I mentioned before, it's small, but it does matter. And there he goes as he sinks both of his free throws, and they are only down by 3 as the Colonie Red Raiders lead 5-2. Will Ibar gets it to Mole. Mole on the wing, guarded by Hoffman. And a swing back to Ibar, misses, picked up by Sadden, fight for the ball. And a nice pass to number 3, Shai Young, and another basket for the Colonie Raiders. And there's a 30-second timeout for the Dutchman. And so, one of the other difficult things is that Colonie Raiders are a very high-scoring team. Isaiah Mole has scored 109 points on the season in just 5 games, averaging over 20 a game. And along with him, a lot of the smaller point guards, including brothers Josh and Will Ibar. Will Ibar is 60, while Josh Ibar is 51 in the season, so they're both averaging over 10 points a game. We have a lot of great free throw shooters. Josh Ibar, Shai Young, both are 100% from the line. And so it's definitely going to be a tough battle for the Dutchman, but we're going to have to see how it plays during this game. Albright will bring it up for the Dutchman. Gets it back to Hoffman. Back to Albright. Albright to Hoffman. Hoffman being guarded up top. Gets it to Mengel. Mengel to Albright. Albright trying to drive in. Gets the ball back. Trapped in the corner. Looking for Ortel. Can't quite get it. Gets it back to Bender. Bender to Ortel with the jump shot. And a nice bank off the glass for number 24, Ben Ortel. Very nice touch. Ibar gets it to his brother Josh Ibar. Mole up top. Gets it to Will Ibar. Josh Ibar gets it to the corner and gets knocked out of bounds. And it will be Dutchman ball. Hoffman to Albright. Albright brings it up for the Dutchman, gets it back to Hoffman. Colonie Red Raiders starting to put on the press. Albright breaks through, gets it to Ortel, back to Hoffman. Hoffman up top, guarded by number 12, Will Ibar. Gets it to Mengel. Mengel up top, gets it to Bender. Bender to Ortel. Ortel, and he puts it up again. That's 4 points for Ben Ortel, and he's putting on a good performance here in the first quarter. Ibar to Sadden. Gets it to Josh Ibar. Mole. The long cross-court pass to Will Ibar. Will Ibar back to Josh, back to Will. Gets it to Sadden. Sadden for three. Can't quite get it picked up by Mengel, and back to Hoffman, and here come the Dutchmen. Hoffman to Mengel. Gets it to Bender. Bender guarded by Will Ibar. Albright for three. Can't quite get it picked up by Mole. Mole brings it back up for the Red Raiders. Will Ibar up top. Gets to Sadden. Sadden to Josh Ibar. Back to Will Ibar, and here's Mole. Mole up top, guarded by Hoffman. He gets into the paint, and he gets it to number 3, Shai Young, for the basket. Albright brings it up. Guarded by number 1, Josh Ibar. Trying to get around him, gets it to Bender. Bender up top, gets it to the wing. Mengel. Mengel trying to drive in on Mole, gets it back to Bender. Bender up to Ortel with a nice fake, and he puts it in. Ben Ortel, what a great first quarter. He has 6 of the Dutchmen's 8 points. Will Ibar gets it to Mole. Mole drives in. And an offensive foul called on Isaiah Mole. A great job by number 1, Matt Bender. That's one of his incredible defensive skills. He's been creating probably the most offensive fouls that I've ever seen on the Dutchman team, and that's been really contributing. Here comes Albright, gets it to Hoffman. Hoffman up top, looking inside. Gets it to the wing. Hoffman to Teeny, who just subbed in, but gets blocked by Mole. It will remain Dutchman ball. And it's definitely tough. Ryan Teeny, another one of the tall players on the team, about 6'3", similar height to Grant Mengel, and he got blocked quite well there. The 4 inches makes a huge difference. Hoffman up top, gets it to Bender. Bender around the screen. Looks inside. Gets it to Albright. Albright to Hoffman. Hoffman to Teeny. Teeny back to Mengel. Mengel drives in on Ibar. Goes in all the way, loses it, and it'll be back to the Red Raiders. And so right now, very tight-knit first quarter. Dutchman only down by 1 with a little over 2 minutes remaining. Number 12, Will Ibar. Gets it to his brother Josh. Josh Ibar looks in. Back to Mole. Will Ibar on the wing. Gets it back to Mole. Mole looks on the wing. Goes from deep and falls way short. Picked up by Mengel and back to Hoffman. Hoffman drives in with a nice pass to Albright, but he dribbles it back out. Bender to Albright. Albright to Mengel. A nice pass. Can't quite get it, but back to Hoffman. Hoffman to Bender. Just gets it before it goes out of bounds. Bender to Albright. Albright looking. Gets it to Teeny. Teeny to Bender. Guarded by Mole. Gets it to Albright. Albright driving. Can't quite get it. Bender looks around. Teeny. Back to Bender. And back to Mengel. To Albright. Time ticking down on the shot clock with a tough jumper. Can't quite get it picked up by number 10, Aaron Sadden. And the Red Raiders come back. Will Ibar gets it to Josh Ibar. Tough pass that is knocked out of bounds, and it is back to the Dutchman. And so Dan Albright takes it up for the Dutchman. Trying to slow things down. Hoffman bringing it up, guarded by number 12, Will Ibar. He drives in on Ibar, can't quite get past. Gets it in the corner to Bender for 3, and he hits it. A nice shot by number 1, Matt Bender, and the Dutchmen take the lead. Under a minute left in the first quarter. Ibar brings it up. Down the corner to Josh Ibar. Mole to Will Ibar. Guarded by Albright. Gets it to Sadden. Sadden to Young. Young to Will Ibar. Goes around, finds Mole. Mole guarded by Hoffman, can't quite get it. Josh Ibar in the corner. Young drives in. And an easy pass to number 23, Isaiah Mole, for the basket, and they tie it back up. Albright to Hoffman. Bender comes around. Bender gets knocked to the ground, and he is fouled on the play. Red Raiders did not like that call, but the foul will be on number 1, Josh Ibar, his first team's third. And a sub in for the Dutchman, number 23, Grant Mengel, will come back in for the last 6.4 seconds of the game. So the Dutchmen down to their final shot in this first quarter. Bender takes it out. Hoffman dribbles. He drives in all the way. Gets it to Teeny. Can't quite get it. Just misses the shot, and that ends the first quarter. A very competitive game as it remains tied between the Colonie Red Raiders and the Gillen Dutchmen, 11-11. So it seems like both teams this game have their key player. Ben Ortel, what a great job he's been doing. He's got 6 of the 11 points, and I definitely know that Isaiah Mole has at least 6. What an impressive performance that both of them have done. And so later on in the game, it's going to be more about that. Of course, this is a team sport, so it's going to be important for both teams not to just focus on one guy and start spreading it to others. And we've seen a lot better passing from the Dutchmen. The last game against the very difficult Shenendehowa Plainsmen, they were staying on the outside, trying to take these long-range shots. Now they're starting to work inside, try to penetrate. And the penetration, that could easily get you to the foul line, and it could get you easier shots, because now the threes aren't always going to go in, and it's really good to mix up both your easier shots and your more difficult shots. And so it's really good to see some life in the Dutchmen. Again, a rough start to the season, 1-3 on the year, as the Colonie Red Raiders are up 3-2 on the season, and they're looking for their 4th win on the season. Will Ibar gets it to Sadden. Back to Josh Ibar. Young to Ibar. Ibar to Sadden. Sadden to Ibar. Ibar back to his younger brother. And it is knocked out of bounds. It will remain Red Raiders ball.
Feel free to go get a chair from the cafeteria. Or kick Joey out and steal his chair.
Will Ibar takes it out for the Red Raiders. A long pass gets it to his brother Josh. Mole back to Josh Ibar and back to Will Ibar. Gets it into Mole. Mole with the spin move. Can't quite get it picked up by Mengel. And Hoffman brings it up. Hoffman bobbing and weaving. Gets it to Teeny. Teeny trying to try it again. Can't quite get it. And it looks like the threes aren't dropping for number 22, Ryan Teeny. It will go back to the Raiders. And so sub for the Colonie Raiders, number 20, Donovan Canty, comes in. Will Ibar brings it up for the Red Raiders. Guarded by Hoffman, gets it to Josh Ibar. Will Ibar gets it to Sadden. Ibar to Ibar. Back to Mole. Ibar up top, gets it to Sadden. And Mole tries to get it, can't get the shot, and here comes Hoffman. Hoffman goes all the way to Albright, and what a nice pass from Hoffman to Albright. The Dutchmen take the lead. Very nice sequence of passes, and great to see the fast break, and great to see the energy from the Dutchmen. Sadden to Ibar for 3. Josh Ibar can't quite get it, picked up by Mengel, and here comes Teeny. Teeny goes up the court all the way, and a little too hard for number 2, Dan Albright. It'll go back to the Red Raiders. So Ben Ortel comes back in the game. One of the things about the Dutchmen that's really difficult is that they have a 6-man rotation. And with a team with 11 guys, it's really necessary to try to get as many people in as possible, because a lot of those guys are going to get tired at the end of the game, and you can't be going on fumes when it comes to a tight-knit game in the 4th quarter. Will Ibar gets it to Sadden, to Josh Ibar. He looks around, Sadin to Ibar. Ibar for three, and he hits that one. Will Ibar gets his first three of the game, and the Colony Red Raiders take back the lead. And Will Ibar tied with his younger brother with the most threes on the team. They both have 9, so definitely good to watch out for them on the wings. Grant Mengel with a nice bank shot takes back the lead for the Dutchman. And Grant Mengel is such a really great player, good inside the paint and beyond the three. So he's a really key player for the Dutchman, and it's really good to see him put some boards on for the Dutchman. Mole steps up, can't quite get the three, and a battle for the ball picked up by Ortel. What a nice fight. And he is fouled by number 1, Josh Ibar. That will be his second, team's fourth. So, as I mentioned before, it's really great to see this energy from the Dutchman. A lot of people fighting for the ball, and it's really good that the Dutchman seemed really lackadaisical when it came to Shen, and Shen putting on a really great defensive performance, but it's really good to see the energy. Josh Ibar with a quick steal puts it back up for the Raiders, and they take back the lead 16-15. Albright brings it up, tries to split the double team, gets it to Hoffman. Hoffman with some fancy dribbles gets fouled on the play, almost gets it to the basket. And Brendan Hoffman, basically the lead point guard for the Dutchman, has great fundamentals in terms of dribbling, in terms of shooting, and it's really good to see him bring some fire to the Dutchman team. The foul was on number 12, Will Ibar. That's his first, and the team's fifth. And Grant Mengel just misses the easy layup, and it's back to the Red Raiders. Will Ibar brings it past midcourt. Looks into Sadin. Sadin to Ibar. Back to Sadin. Sadin in the corner. Gets it back to Ibar. Ibar to his brother. Gets it to Mole. Mole to Will Ibar. Will Ibar to Sadin. Sadin drives in. Gets it to Will Ibar for three. Can't hit that one. And a good save by Hoffman, but hands it right back to number 23, Isaiah Mole, for the easy bucket. A little over 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Hoffman brings it up. Colony Red Raiders put on the press. Albright trying to break through. Gets it past midcourt to Ortel. Back to Hoffman. Hoffman guarded by Will Ibar. Gets it to Mengel. In the corner to Teeny. Teeny tries to get it to Ortel, but ends up getting blocked, and Will Ibar brings it up. Will Ibar tries to get it in just a little too much, and it's back to the Dutchman. Here comes Hoffman. Hoffman to Mengel. Mengel to the paint. Gets it to Albright. Albright goes baseline. Gets it to Mengel for three, and he hits it. Grant Mengel with a three-pointer ties the game back up. And as I mentioned before, a guy who's so good in the paint is also really efficient behind the three-point line. So it's really good to see him use all of the possible outcomes and it's really good to see him use multiple parts of the floor. Ibar to Sadin. Sadin for three, and he hits that one. The battle of the threes goes on with a little over 3 remaining in the second quarter. Colony takes back the lead by 3, 21-18, as Hoffman brings it up. Hoffman gets it past midcourt, being guarded by number 1, Josh Ibar. Gets it to Mengel. Mengel back to Hoffman. And Hoffman looks like he just stepped out of bounds. It'll go back to the Red Raiders. Number 1, Matt Bender checks back in for the Dutchman. Will Ibar brings it up for the Red Raiders. He gets it past midcourt. Dutchman in a 2-3 zone as it is past number 4, Brian Johnstone. Sadin to Mole. Mole up top. Gets it to Johnstone. Johnstone comes around, gets it to Will Ibar. Gets it to Sadin for three. Can't hit that one. Picked up again by number 23, Isaiah Mole. Will Ibar gets it back to Mole. Loses control. Sets up for three, and he hits that one. Having a bit of trouble behind the three, but he hits his first one of the night. The Red Raiders go up by 6. Bender comes up, being guarded by Johnstone. He goes into the paint. He goes up, tries to get past number 20, Donovan Canty, and can't quite get it. And there's a fight for the ball. And jump ball remains here for the Dutchman. And another great job, great hustle by number 24, Ben Ortel, who's been all over the place so far this game. Ortel gets it to Teeny. Teeny goes baseline. Gets it to Hoffman. And it looks like an up and down. It will go back to the Red Raiders. And the Red Raiders doing a great job defensively too. Dutchmen have been making a lot more shots so far this game, but the Colony Red Raiders have been doing a good job the last few possessions shutting out the Dutchmen. Will Ibar brings it to the top of the key, gets it to Sadden. Sadden to Johnstone, gets it to Mole. Mole guarded by Hoffman, gets it to Ibar. Johnstone in the corner, looks around, gets it back to Ibar. Mole dribbling on the outside, cross-court pass to Johnstone, gets it back to Ibar. 1 second, and 30-second violation, and the defense comes right back for the Dutchman. Couple good defensive plays by the Raiders, and the Dutchman answer right back with a 30-second violation. So the basket does not count. It remains 24-18 with 1:29 to go in the second quarter. Albright bringing it up, gets it to Hoffman, back to Albright. Albright to Hoffman. Hoffman just past midcourt, guarded by number 12, Will Ibar. Gets it to Teeny. Teeny drives in, but took a couple steps before he dribbled. That will be a travel, and it is back to the Red Raiders. Will Ibar gets it to Mole. Mole will bring it up for the Red Raiders. Picked up his dribble. Gets it to Ibar. Cross court to Mole. Johnstone up top. Gets it to Ibar. Ibar on the wing. Gets it to Mole in the corner. Guarded by Mengel. Gets it back to Sadden. Sadden on the baseline. Sadden goes in. Gets it back out to Ibar. Ibar in the paint. Gets it to number 20, Donovan Canty, for an easy layup. Colony Red Raiders go up by 8. Hoffman bringing it up for the Dutchman. Just about 30 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Gets it to Mengel. Mengel to Albright. Albright to Bender. Bender to Albright. Drives in, gets it back out to Bender for 3, and he sinks it. That is the second three-pointer by number 1, Matt Bender. And so it's good to see that the 3 ball is working for the Dutchman. The last time against the Plainsmen, they were having trouble hitting from behind the arc, but it's good to see them come back. Last 5 seconds. Mole misses the basket. Hoffman shucks it, but it hits the ceiling. That will end the first half. The Colony Red Raiders with a 5-point lead over the Dutchman, 26-21. A very hard-fought half against a very skilled Colony Raiders team. And so that ends it for the first half. I am Jason Sindoni, and we will be back for your second half coverage.